Well, hello, my friends. We're happy to be here once again, Beth and I. And today we're going to talk about investing in your art career. So how are you, Beth? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Sergio. I'm so glad to see you.
I know for all our friends who are watching right now, I was out on a vacation for 2 weeks. Well, it was actually a week, but it just happened to be like Wednesday to Wednesday kind of thing. So we
Mhm.
were gone from our typical Wednesday show because of my fault, because I've been going out. But it was so much needed. I feel so refreshed and happy to connect with you, Beth, again, and have a good conversation about investing. And actually, going on vacation is a way to invest in yourself, isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I'm glad you did. When I heard you were on vacation, I was like, all right, I'm going to be stalking your Instagram so I can see what you're doing.
Yeah, so we the family and I went to the island of Puerto Rico and we had a great time. And now we're back and working. And one of the topics that I really want to talk about today with you, Beth, and also get your input is investing in your art career, because I was talking to one of the members of my community, and she actually presented a really good question. She said, well, I sold some art and I have, this surplus of income. How can I invest it back in my career, right? The idea of that, 1,000 can become 2,000, 5,000 can become 10,000. How do we multiply our business? And I thought that was a wonderful question. And I said, let's talk a little bit about that. Because a lot of times, when we think about, oh, I got a little extra money, how can I spend it? The difference between
Yeah.
spending it and investing it. is, is it for you easy to think about investing?
It is because I'm always thinking about the next step. What can I
Mhm.
do next? And I just like to make art and live this life where I'm creating more work and I'm doing new exciting things. And so I invest in myself usually
Mhm, mhm.
with whether that's materials or coaching or I know we're going to get into all this today, but
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of investing in your business so that you continue to grow and keep reaching those next steps.
Very cool. And I have to admit, and I have to be transparent to all my friends and to you, that by default, I was never the type of person that I would save money, right?
Mm,
I was something that I had to learn. And when I started my business and my artistic practice and so on, I had to learn to do that, to change that shift in my mind. I was the type of guy who, if I sold something, yes, and now I need to buy something, but never like thinking about I'm gonna put it back in my art business. It was until I started thinking business like that then I started to take business decisions
hmm.
correctly. And I think that's maybe the first step to start. Maybe some of our friends are still in that mentality. Oh, I just sold something, and once I pay my bills and so on, how can I spend it, right?
Hmm.
Are you by default a saver or a spender?
I'm a saver.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not big on buying things. I just not interested. I don't know what it is. If I can have experiences, whether that's like
Mhm.
you went on vacation or maybe you do some coaching with a great another person, you connect with them, and
Yeah.
and that's worth it to me. I like doing those things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I had to become, a saver, by choice, not by default. But that's a choice that we can all make, which is a good thing. So let's talk
Hmm.
about maybe a little bit of some of the ways in which your friends and can reinvest in their art career on the things that can help them to move forward in their career as they experience a surplus, which of course, as we're thinking right now, pandemic might not be the first thing you think about, but you just never know. Sometimes something unexpected, the big painting that you didn't think it was sold, all of a sudden somebody is
Right.
interested and that sale happened, right? So some of the things that I've been thinking about and I have, learned to invest in a lot is on learning. And you
Hmm.
mentioned that a little bit on the idea of coaching or learning something. And I remember, for example, when I wanted to start a podcast, I did not know how. So I went to look, who was teaching how to do podcasts, person that I admired. And I didn't ask for a freebie. I just went and bought the course and took the course and I invested on something I wanted to learn.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's I've done the exact same thing when it came to speaking. I joined a
Mm-hmm.
speaker program and I invested in that. and I've invested in marketing coaches and
Mm-hmm.
other sales coaches. And, you know, I've worked with other artists who wanted to simplify their systems. So if they didn't want to print prints themselves, ship and mail, you know, there are platforms online that you can spend some money on, invest in your business so you're automating and simplifying your system. So
Right.
there's so many ways that you can invest in your art business. I
Right.
think it's important to just remember, well, where are you in it and where do you want to go next, and sort of have a
Mm-hmm.
vision for step by step. How can you invest in yourself as a practice and not necessarily like, oh, I have this big chunk of money, I'm going to do something big. Well, maybe start
Right.
doing something small first and see where that
Mm-hmm.
leads you, because I've learned so much from consultants and coaches that have helped me grow,
Yeah.
you know, so much faster than I would have if I, you know, was trying to figure it out all on my own. And so
Right.
because of that, I've made decisions that were better for me because I had expertise and advice that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, is really helping me get to those next steps in a different way than I had originally planned. So it's
Right.
definitely worth the investment.
And that is great, because also then once we learn those things, then we can be better in our communities, you know, your community and my community. When we invest in ourselves, I think the whole community benefits, right? So
I think so.
yeah, when you're part of a community and you are giving to that community, you don't have to be the leader of that community, but just in commenting and helping other people with the knowledge that you have gained, I think, you know, it helps everyone. So another one that I think is super important on investing, and you can mention a little bit about that, is the on time saving things, right? Because you cannot buy more time, right? The they only has 24 hours. No matter how rich you are, you may be Bill Gates, but you cannot buy more hours, right? But the one thing that we can invest on is on doing things that will alleviate some of the kind of like tasks that are mundane, or simplifying, as you mentioned, things that can help us then have more time for the things we love, which for most of us as artists, being in the studio, doing the work that we love to do. There are so many platforms that I have found, you know, over the last few years that have helped me online to, you know, save time. You know, things like how, you know, things that software that I can buy that will make my videos save faster, or investing on my computer so that I don't have to wait 3 hours for the next video to export. All that time that we waste on things, it
Yeah.
accumulates to hours and hours and hours in a year.
That's so important, like investing in the programs online, like buying the extra storage, getting the new iPhone, buying the new computer. It's so important to keep all of those things up to date, because like you said, waiting for things to download or upload, or even just moving things off of your hard drive onto an external hard drive because you ran out of space, it's just
Right.
sucks all of your time. And you know, I was thinking when you were saying that you could invest in an assistant to do those things for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, actually, one of the artists that I was coaching the other day, she actually invested on a content manager assistant. So she can spend more time in her studio, and the content manager will come in and help her with all the social media posts and doing all those things. So as artists, we can see, you know, where we need the most help, and that's where we can invest. So we can spend more time on the other things.
That's right. And you know, when you recognize the things that you do really well and the things that you maybe don't do really well, or that you don't enjoy doing, and then you can delegate those and get those off of your plate, it's just going to make you happier overall. And it doesn't slow you down in your business. It's only going to increase your ability to do more of what you love. So in the transition, though, it can take a little bit of time if you're having to learn something new or having to train somebody, but overall it would be a great decision to be able to have that extra time to do more of the art that you love.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up today's program, maybe our friends can also share in the comments, you know, what are the things that you are investing on or you would like to invest on, particularly now that we are on pandemic mode and we have a little bit more time. Also, we're not going to the movies, we're not going to, you know, all these things that we used to do, at least for the time being. So there's a little more time that we can, you know, dedicate to our learning and investing on the things that we want to do. So Beth, can you share with our friends, where can we find you on social media if those want to connect with you?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English. I'm there every day. So I would love to connect with you guys.
Excellent.
What about you?
And you can find me also on Instagram at Sergio Gomez Art, my website, sergiogomezonline.com. Hope to see you in the next week, in the next episode as well. It's going to be super good. I already know. Goodbye, friends. Have a great day. Bye, Ben. Take care.